All right, folks, welcome back in. Where would you rather be? I believe this is week 12, handicap sports. Big weekend in the books. Masters, John Rahm coming out victorious. I know this is a big Rahm group here, so all three of us like to see that. Um, Fellas, just quick thoughts, early thoughts on the victory, on the Masters as a whole. JK, top right, you wanna lead us up on off here?
Yeah. Dad, you want to just hold your mic up a little bit? I think. Yeah. So Masters week. It was an interesting Masters. It was a fun one. I enjoyed it. I mean, did you guys?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Dad, how
Yeah,
did you?
not that much drama, I guess. Rom, you know, with a handful of holes left, he seemed to have it in hand. The drama was the whole live thing was a big drama. Brooks choking or just didn't have the experience, the recent experience to hang at the way Rom's been at it for the last 2 years, week after week, just grinding it out. Every shot's a pressure shot.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with it. But the live guys showed up. But if you're going to pick other than Phil, because you didn't know what to expect, but if you're going to pick three live guys to go to Augusta and play well, I guess maybe uh, Cam Smith didn't really show up. They was a little
Yeah.
disappointing, but I think he might. I think he's clearly fallen into the trap of relaxation, wear shorts, 54 holes, no cut, music blaring, probably just chilling out,
Right.
enjoying his cash. I mean, when you think about it, all that hard work, the Masters first prize purse was less than a live
Yeah.
first prize check. But I think it's all good. I think that if anything came out of it, I think that there were little bits where some of the live guys might really miss what they experienced here. They kept saying it was great to be here, blah blah blah, but maybe they're happy just to go 4 times a year because that's all they're going to get at the most. Most of them are going to get a lot less though.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with more on that. And I wanted to start with Rom. I mean that guy. I mean, you can only when you talk about John Rahm and the 2023 Masters years to come. I really the first thing you think of is the first hole, 4 putt double bogey, and after that, his next 2 holes, birdie, birdie, made it up right back to even. I think that really drove him and had his confidence going the rest of the weekend, and he really couldn't be stopped at one point. The only missteps he really had after that first hole were 2 pretty poor 3 putts on 2 holes that you shouldn't bogey. That being 13 and I believe it was 16. Was it 16? 13 and 15, the 2 par 5s on the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in round 3. He um
He played in one over,
he played them
one over.
2 over.
No, one was a three putt when he was on the green, and two.
Oh, yes. The 15 was a 3 putt for par. That's correct. But I mean, like you were saying, Dad, the pressure he was putting on Brooks in that 4th round from the jump. You had that first hole. I don't think you were watching the first hole with me, but Brooks put one on the other
Yeah,
fairway.
I was watching it.
Rahm put one in the fairway. Brooks hit a great second shot. Rahm hit a horrible second shot. Brooks cozies one in for an easy par. Rahm hits a pretty bad pitch, leaves himself 12 feet. And that par putt that he hit,
Yeah,
that 12-footer for par, was a sliding par putt. That's when Brooks was like, all right, Rahm knew, he almost like knew he had it at that point. Then the next hole, they both couldn't convert birdies. And I think it was 8 when Rahm made a birdie to go up 2. That's when it was kind of just good night. He was so locked in, didn't show much emotion at all. And
yeah,
Brooks was pretty much just chasing him the whole time.
yeah.
And Rahm,
Brooks was lucky to make a par in 8.
he was in full, he was in full command. So hats off to John Rahm. That was awesome.
He
I
didn't have to. He kind of as long as he played solid, kept the pressure on. He didn't have to do anything
yeah, it
too
was
special. It
And
wasn't. It was. It was not an easy win, but once he took control of the tournament, everyone else was too far behind unless he blew it.
Yep.
And Rom did what he had to do, so it was very cool. And tribute to Sebi was cool. And we'll see what happens when the next major rolls along. We'll see how well these guys are prepared. They're going to play maybe 2 or 3 tournaments all over the world,
They're going
all over the place. Yeah,
international heavy.
who cares?
Yeah. One more thing I'll say about Rom. Very impressive to be in the AM/PM slot, to be right up there. I mean, that's something. I mean, you saw the way those guys struggled.
Brooks had a walk in the park on Friday morning.
The thing about Brooks, I know we're going to get into Brooks right now, and the thing that we were talking about with Brooks the whole time is, I know, Dad, you were talking. It was nice with the three of us got to watch it yesterday together. But the thing you were talking about with Brooks, Dad, was the 54 holes and then him having to play the 72. What I really thought about a lot was on day one, he was not in a featured group. He probably wasn't being followed much throughout the course. Day 2 and 3, not too many crowds around him, not playing in front of many people. And then day 4, that's when he really had to check himself. And in his rounds 2 through 4, aside from par 5s, he made one birdie.
Yep.
And that was the 16th hole when Rahm had a 4-shot lead.
Do you actually think Brooks is in major form, like, to win a major? Do you think Brooks is going to win a major this year?
No,
I don't know if he'll win a major this year, but he'll win another major, in my opinion. And if there's any live guy that will, he'll always get up for a major.
Yeah.
Still got to play.
Yeah, still have to be able to play too, and it's just like sad to see a guy like Cam Smith, who is just so good on the PGA Tour, so likable, to now just be struggling like crazy. If you have to think that he's going to be struggling this way in the next 3 majors. I didn't see anything special out of him. Like you said, it's very lax over there with the whole live type. But going back to Rahm real quick, like we talked about last week, the par 5 scoring, Rahm finished 12 under, and he went 10 under. Rounds 1 through 4 in par 5 scoring. Yeah, that's how you win at Augusta.
All those stats you like, Jacob. He ranked 1, 2, or 3 in all 5 of them.
He gained like 11 ball striking. Off the tee numbers were great. I don't think he missed a fairway. John, round 4, he like his when his driver's on, he just doesn't miss fairways.
When him hitting drives like that, he was unbeatable. But I mean, if you were to look at the par 5 scoring, Jacob, Brooks's par 5 scoring was
really good. Yeah, that's why he was right there.
It was exactly what Rahm's was. But like I said, rounds 2 through 4, you got to do something on other holes. I mean, Brooks made a shitload of pars. Good for him. I mean, that's what you got to do sometimes. But Rahm made more birdies than Brooks did on non-par 5s, and that was really the difference, in my opinion. And yeah, he did it. What did you guys what do you guys think about just like the live guys' results in general?
Yeah, pretty impressive. They had 3 they had 3 guys in the top 10. Phil, P. Reed, and Koepka. It's pretty good. But as long as I was just happy that none of the live guys won.
I agree.
And but yeah, Rahm played really smart. He did what he had to do. He closed the deal. I never realized this thing with Cantlay. I didn't know he's such a slow play. Is he notoriously slow?
On Twitter. He was getting killed on Twitter about it.
They were blaming the group of him and Hovland, but I think it was really Cantlay.
It was Cantlay.
There's a video of Brooks steaming on the 16th tee.
There was also a video of it was the par 3 12th.
No, Victor and Cantlay were right in front of.
Yeah, they were.
But I think it was more Cantlay playing slow than Victor.
Oh yeah, it was because on the par 3 12th, they showed a clip of Victor was past the green chipping, and Cantlay was still walking on the fairway onto like the green complex.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know. I guess he just plays really slow.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's something. Xander Schauffele plays very slow too. I know that they play together a lot, and that has something to do with it. But
Xander's slow too.
Xander's a slow player.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Koepka's fast. Rahm is fast.
Yeah.
Koepka's lightning.
Fast. Yeah. So yeah, that was crazy. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up I think it's a very interesting topic with the whole live things. You got guys like Harold Varner. You got guys like Mito Pereira. Like this might be their last Masters ever. Do you guys think that how the live is structured and how the 3 day event, the 54 hole, what have you? Do you think the live guy should receive official world ranking points?
No.
No,
I don't either, and I like that DP World Tour does because that's like the DP World Tour
It's legit.
night and day with Live. So the reason why that I don't think they should is just because of how the format is. I think they should find something on the Masters Committee, Majors Committee, wherever, where they pick a pool of like 10 guys who they pick, like a Neiman, the Cam Smith, to compete in the majors. I wanted to get your thoughts on
If
kind of
you
how that
qualify, if you qualify, you qualify. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the decision they made. They knew what they were getting themselves into. Maybe they thought the PGA was bluffing, and they're going to be doing, like some of these guys that are slowly eking out of the top 100, and they don't have majors under their belt. They're not going to be able to play in any majors.
exactly.
Like one of the guys was saying, he's going to try and You can always try and qualify for the U.S. Open, and they'll try and qualify. We'll see how they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, you saw, I know we were like looking at Twitter last night a little bit. What Dan Rappaport was tweeting about.
Oh, dude, that was so
in
annoying.
regards to, he's like, the live guys showed up. Like, we have to figure out a way for them to be qualifying for majors with world ranking points. I said, I think the complete opposite of that. They made a decision. You can't have everything in the world. They made a decision. There's guys on the PGA Tour busting their ass to grow their FedEx Cup points, to grow their world golf rankings so they can qualify for these events. These live guys showing up to a real PGA event four times a year shouldn't do anything for them. But right now, these live guys, they have their chances this year. If you want to qualify for these majors, go out there and finish in the top 5, like Brooks and Reed did. Because
100%.
Brooks and Reed, Phil qualifies for pretty much everything, but for major wise, Brooks and Reed, they're good for these tournaments for some years because they finish in the top 5. These other guys like Abraham Answer, Peter,
Done.
Garner,
Good, Garner, like I'm sorry, you can't just make the cut. You got to do something, and if you're not going to be playing on the PGA to give yourself more chances to qualifying in the top 50, you took your money. You made a decision to take your money and go enjoy your money, but it's going to come with a price in 2 years when you don't qualify for one major. And that's when live is really, really going to die out. When the most I've thought about these guys, I haven't thought about Harold Varner, Abraham Answer, Taylor Gooch in all year. This is the first weekend I've even kind of thought of them. And
right now, there's a little grumbling going on. You have guys like Varner in that interview he did with USA Today. He's saying, "Hey guys, stop saying you're trying to grow the game. You went for the money. Admit you went for the money." There's a lot of grumbling. They asked Brooks if you knew that you'd get healthy so fast, would you still have gone? He goes, "Not sure." So eventually there's going to be somebody that's going to say, "Hey, listen, I want to get back on the PGA Tour," and we'll see what happens.
I think Brooks will be the first.
I don't know about that. I think the live is I actually almost disagree with that. I think live is built for a guy like Brooks. He never gave a shit about the regular tour events anyway. He probably enjoys this. If he can keep qualifying for them, if he can play in all the majors, play and live, do that team thing, make $20 million a year on live, every once in a while cash a check in a major, he'll be happy as can be.
Mm-hmm. And also the other thing that I thought of is like these guys like Answer, Varner, play in your live events, but you're off a bunch of times. Go play in the DP World Tour, rack up T5s, rack up T10s, get those points on those tours. Like you're probably not going to play.
That's what Patrick Reed does. He goes to Asia.
Yeah, exactly.
He plays in Asia.
That's why
he hustles.
That's why I kind of like back him more than probably any of the live guys because he actually plays in those tours.
He's willing to travel.
Exactly.
Something else I wanted to bring up about the live guys. I kind of just I was looking through the live guys who made the cut. I mean, honestly, one I guess impressive thing you can say about the live guys is there's about 18 live players. 12 of them made the cut, but in the Masters, 66% is pretty ideal because the field is way smaller and 50 out of the 85 make the cut. So it's not that impressive to make the cut in the Masters. But if you look at out of the 12 who made the cut, 6 of them, their worst round was in round 4. Dustin Johnson's worst round was in round.
Dustin Johnson, did he make the cut? He didn't make the cut.
6.
Yeah,
he made the cut. He went John. What did he go 6 over on
Dustin Johnson went 71, 72, 78, 75.
Ugh.
And then like Abraham Answer, gradually worse. Schwartzel, gradually worse. Peters, gradually worse. Cam Smith, 70, 72, 75, 75.
Yeah, but it's not so much. I don't think it's that much the 4th round. I just think that it's the grind. It's the pressure.
Yeah,
it's difficult conditions. I mean, basically, their golf that they've been playing is almost like a member guest. I mean, it's not. It's just very casual. And listen, I don't really care. We'll see what happens. We'll see how these guys continue to function or not function. But I thought it was a good tournament. Not that memorable. I thought it was solid. It was enjoyable. It was pretty good to see some of how they handled the conditions. Mm-hmm. I like that speech that the chairman made when he said why he didn't give Norman an invite even though he wanted one. I mean, Norman is the poison right there. They got if they get rid of Norman, you never know what could happen. But basically, the PGA Tour hates Norman. And he's just bad. He's bad for the game.
Horrible. Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's like he's pissed off at the PGA Tour.
So when's the next major? The PGA?
May.
The next major's in
May 20th weekend at Oak Hill.
So you got about a month. So you can have is there any good events in between?
We got the RBC this week, elevated event.
RBC.
Oh, really? Someone just dropped out. Who was that?
Rory.
Oh.
Zalatoris is out for the season.
Yeah, Zalatoris is out for the
season. When's the memorial? Is that's before the U.S.
I thought JT was going to cry at one point when he didn't make the cut.
JT was actually being cool. JT was actually tweeting.
Yeah,
JT was dialed in. He was tweeting about it like
he cannot watch it. Yeah,
great. Yeah, that's what he said.
Very
he was
cool.
like,
I
thought.
No, at the moment when he realized he missed the cut, he couldn't believe it. I think he played the last 7 holes at 5 over or something.
It was awful, and I watched that. It was brutal. I mean, it all started on 14 when he put one in the water. Then he was he was chasing something. Little did he know if he could have just kept that, if he could have just played for pars in those conditions and kept it at 2 under, he's the type of guy that could have went low one day.
I don't believe me. Other guys could have won.
But
people say Scheffler could have won. He missed a lot of putts, they said.
They definitely could have. And I was when I was listening to Part of My Take today, they had Scott Van Pelt was on. And Scott Van Pelt was talking to them, and he's like, I actually caught up with JT for a second after the second round. And he was talking about the conditions. And obviously he's not trying to make excuses or anything. But he said, I ripped a driver, one of the best feeling drives I've had all year, down 18, and he's like, I was 230 out. You think about that.
So much longer.
With that weather, he's like, I've never seen that kind of weather at this tournament. So, I mean, really, those guys, and you see how Tiger made the cut. He shouldn't. JT is the reason why Tiger made the cut.
They're making memes about that.
What happened?
So the projected
from +2 to +4.
The projected cut was +2. Tiger and JT and Tiger finished at +3, so they said Tiger needs to make a par to definitely make the cut. He made a bogey on 18, and then JT and Sung Jae's groups were the last 2 groups out, and they said they were both at +2. They said JT or Sung Jae have to make a bogey to get the +3 guys into the cut line.
Oh, I see.
JT bogeys 17. And so JT and Tiger are the last 2, and they're with the +3 guys. So they were about to play together. then JT knocked himself out, made a bogey on 18. So then he went to +4 and got cut.
Yeah.
And
Sung Jae had a really nice up and
then
down.
Sung Jae had a par to make the cut. So
Yeah.
that was
How can, if you watched Sports Center last night, how does Sigali's shot not be top? It should be number 1. It wasn't.
Sigala, yeah.
It wasn't even top 10.
That's
Wait,
ridiculous.
actually, it wasn't
Yeah,
top 10.
It wasn't even top 10.
Ridiculous.
That was a
sick shot.
great shot.
That was
What's the guy's name who choked in the PGA last year? How do you say his name?
Mito.
Yeah, they had his shot. I think he chipped in or something.
Yeah, on 13.
On a par 5, and they had his shot and not that. That was, oh man, his reaction was great. It was beautiful.
By the way, HandyKap Sports very big Sahith Theegala podcast. I'll just throw that out there real quick.
What'd you say?
HandyKap Sports is a Sahith Theegala podcast.
Totally.
Going back to Scotty, Dad.
My man.
Gained 5 off the tee, gained 6 on approach, ball striking 11.5, lost 4 with the putter.
Oh, he didn't putt well.
And what killed Scotty on Sunday, I mean, when you were looking at the leaderboard, you got a bunch of guys at +6, and all of a sudden you see Rom, Koepka, and then you see a bunch of guys at +6. Scotty makes a wild birdie putt on number 11. And then, and everyone's like, "Oh, so here comes Scotty. He's going to be back in contention. He's never dead." In 12, he puts one unplayable up in the Azaleas.
Yep, he was done.
So
big stuff from Fred Couples, your guy.
Yeah, it's impressive.
2 record breaking.
Freddie's the man.
Tiger too.
Freddie's the man. Everyone loves Freddie.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a dominant win from Rom. Good, not great Masters. Probably unbelievable if you have a nice mortgage on Rom to win.
I got +1. I got, with 2 holes left in the 3rd round, I got +190. He was down 2.
Pretty good.
Nice play.
It's great.
It's pretty good. I mean, he opened around. I think he opened at 900.
I wish. He went from down 4 to down 2 in seconds.
That round 3 was fluctuating like crazy.
That's so wild how he came out and they went right to the green and two shots.
Bogey birdie.
Just like that.
It was. And that was the start of everything. Really.
Yeah.
They were making putts like crazy on that in that third. I thought that 3rd round was very exciting. Like the end of it.
Yeah. And they also did I thought they did a great job of getting what they needed in, ending it for the day, and then that Sunday was just a ton of golf, but they pulled it off. It was really well ran.
They knew they needed to get about halfway done before they blew the horn, and that's what they did.
Yeah. How do you guys do it? Do you guys make any noise in any kind of pools?
Nothing for me.
I want a third place $50 prize. If Spieth didn't go off, I would have came in first. I mean, two guys came out of nowhere with Spieth getting all those points, but I had Rom and
it's fun.
So
if you have to if you have to pick one guy to win the PGA the next major, who do you guys got?
Justin Thomas.
Where is it?
Okay.
Oak Hill. This is easy. You know who I'm saying.
Cam Young.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good He started hot.
Oak Hill's also a bomber's paradise too.
It's northeast.
Oh, it is, Jacob.
He's a northeast guy. He hung in there when a lot of guys like Burns melted. A lot of guys melted, and he didn't.
Wait.
I feel like he struggled a little bit on round 3. I think he went down to at most like 2 under.
Yeah,
he was riding with the big dogs for pretty much.
He was top 10. He made a nice eagle. Matsuyama disappointed me. I had him in there for top 10, and he melted the last couple holes.
This Cam Young I like him a lot this week at the RBC.
Boy, he's playing every week. This guy. Who was complaining about playing too much?
Spieth.
Oh, Spieth, give me a break.
Yeah, Spieth was like, I'm very tired. That's why I thought I liked him this week, but after hearing stuff like that, immediate fade. I really like Young this week. Tesori, new caddy on his bag. Webb Simpson, amazing at this course, amazing at short positional type courses.
The South Carolina course, right?
Cam Young, 2nd here last year, 3rd here last year. It's good. It's good course.
I always laugh about Spieth and his caddy with all the back and forth, and supposedly Spieth came out and said he's trying not to do it as much. He didn't do a very good job of it this week.
He's always talking, and he's always walking in putts that sometimes go in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's all right.
No,
it's okay. Is Ricky playing in the RBC?
Yes, he is.
He's got a good chance. He'll be ready to go.
I think he had a pretty good number too. I think it was around like 60 to 1.
Oh, okay.
Jacob, going back to Oak Hill, I'm interested to hear this. So, is the course going to play just very long? I assume.
Yeah, I mean, here let's.
Probably similar to Erin Hills when they played there in 2017.
Yeah, I mean Oak Hill's like that's why a lot of people like Rory at Oak Hill because he drives.
He's not playing. He's gonna. Yeah, in that one.
He'll play. Yeah, he'll play Oak Hill, but like he's just like. With him, it's just so mental. He never gets off to a good start. I don't understand him. I mean, he's not playing too well. Scotty, I think, will win a major this year. I think he'll win the Open Championship.
Nah.
You don't think so?
No, I think his best chance will be to. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win a major.
What do you think? Rahm will win another one?
I would put Rahm to win another major before Scotty. I don't
Rory?
see. I never think Rory's going to win, so it's hard for me to pick that. I mean, everyone keeps predicting him to pick, but I'll tell you, the MVP of the weekend was my boy McGinley on Golf Channel. He called this thing right off the bat, and he had the balls to keep with it even before the fourth round. He goes, I just don't see Koepka being able to close the deal. He hasn't been there. He doesn't play week in, week out under these Sunday conditions. And boy, that guy was right on point. And he's a good guy. He's very smart. Good commentary. Loves the Europeans. Happy as could be he was so happy for Rahm, but he's pretty good. He's got nice insight. I think all those guys are okay. They got to figure out live at the Masters. It's like a running loop. They ought to maybe do something a little different.
Horrible.
Speaking of that, big complaint I have is the TV coverage, national TV coverage, absolutely inexcusable. I understand Masters.com, but Masters.com, if you're looking at it and you're looking at featured groups on like a TV, and then you go to Masters.com, they're an entire hole behind. It's horrible. All these other majors, you got like the Open, the U.S. Open, the PGA, they're airing all day. And
the U.S. Open and PGA.
It was horrible. It was horrible on the Saturday of the Masters.
We got 30 minutes of action. It was terrible.
Yes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they have all these, like a green jacket presentation, an interview with Tiger and Jack from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then they're going to put the live TV coverage on. They didn't even put Rahm, Brooks, and Bennett in a featured group coverage.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it made no sense.
You couldn't watch the leaders on Saturday of the Masters. It's horrible. It's the one complaint I have about golf.
Well, it's more the Masters than CBS.
Yeah,
it's not CBS. Masters.
I'm blaming.
Masters controls everything.
I'm blaming the Masters though.
Also, another quick thing that I was watching Golf Channel late last night. McGinley was talking about like people like trying to come back, and in that round 4. Most of the guys who like put up the low numbers, like it was obviously Rahm, but a lot of the guys started that round 4 at like 2 under, and you get guys like Victor and like Morikawa and Cantlay who played like shit. So that's the Scotties and like the Spieths, they just ran out of holes. Like
they couldn't do it. Yep.
But like let's say they started like 5 under, like they would have been right there with Rahm.
Had they played that well though.
Right, exactly. But I thought McGinley, like they always just cater to him on that show. But I watched like an hour of it. They just cater to McGinley. Got to listen to him more. Yeah, Masters was great. RBC this week. Little bit of NBA, just quick. Bockers, Knicks fans, 3 Knicks fans right here. Playoffs, Cavaliers. I'm predicting Knicks in 7.
I like it.
You like it?
I hope the Knicks win. I think they should. Is Randall healthy?
JK would know better than me. JK, is Randall healthy?
I don't know. I think I think he should be, but I don't know for sure. I know Brunson's fine, but
Brunson's good.
you need Randall. If you don't have Randall, you're not going to win that series, in my opinion. You need both of them. I mean, the one thing I will say about the Knicks, I haven't been watching too much NBA or hockey or anything else besides golf lately, just because
There you go.
golf is my own. It's the most exciting thing right now. But one thing I have noticed, I still look at Knicks box scores and stuff like that. You got Quickly, Toppin, Grimes. These guys are putting up. I know.
But it's hard to tell because there are a lot of subs playing right now.
I know there's a lot of subs,
It's
but
almost like the preseason.
it's good for their mental game.
Yeah.
It's good.
Barrett's terrible.
Yeah, he's
He's horrible. But yeah,
Let's
Knicks play-
let's close it out on one nice topic. You ready?
let's
Let me
hear it.
guess.
What do you guys? You're not going to be able to guess this one. You want to guess? Go ahead, buddy.
LeBron James.
No. You think that Mavericks should get penalized for dumping?
That's how the NBA is.
Yeah, I know, but very very rarely do you see a team that has a chance to make the playoffs dump, and they have two superstars. They had to win two games. I think had they won two games, they would have made it, and they rested everybody. And supposedly, I mean, there's really nothing to investigate. The NBA is investigating. There's no investigation. It's obvious as it is. What's his name? The head coach, Kid said his bosses told him not to play anybody, and he actually said that at his press conference.
What are your thoughts on the move, though? Like, you think it's a classic move by Cuban?
Yeah, it's a loser move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
You have a chance to make the playoff. If you want to rest, once you're eliminated or once you're in, it stinks for the fans. But while you're still alive, you got to play to win. If you don't play to win, you should get penalized. The Knicks should get that pick, or they lose the pick. Knicks maybe shouldn't get the pick, but they should lose that pick. That'll be great.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Never happened, but that would be a good thing.
The Knicks should probably screw the pickup anyway. I'm kidding.
Maybe.
But yeah, RBC this week, great Masters last week, playoff basketball coming soon. Another edition, week 12, folks. HandyKap Sports, RK, JK, JZ Sports, signing off. See you later, folks.
Later, boys.